All right, welcome into day two, you guys. Watch me quantum leap. Holy crap, I'm so excited. And it's so good to see you. I think your name's Becca, right? Rebecca? Okay. Morning. Amazing. Oh, so excited. Okay,
Remember
so
Eka.
okay, Echo. Okay, amazing. Yay. So yesterday we covered a lot, and I gave you guys a prompt to make a decision. But yesterday, a lot of you who actually were on live told me that you know what you want. And that's amazing because you know what? A lot of the world doesn't actually know what they want, or at least they claim they don't know what they want. So I just want to take a second to one, remind you to go and watch part one. If you're here, maybe you're on the replay and you haven't yet caught part one. Each of these lessons builds upon the last. So that's the first thing I want to remind you of. And then the other thing is that if you feel like you don't really know what you want, that's okay. Okay, that's okay. Because here's the bottom line. The truth is this. We have been manipulated into believing that we're not good enough, essentially, right? We've been taught to forget our power. And so in my opinion, what our power is as human beings is like we're not even human beings, right? We're infinite spiritual beings having a human experience. Our power is to create, is to tap into that field of infinite potential that's all around us and to create. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about logic. We're not talking about things that make sense, right? Our power is to create. But what does our society teach us? And what does it teach our kids? We're not good enough. We're not there yet. We don't know how. We need to study more. We need to figure it out. We need to know all the details. We need to be logical. We need to think realistic. Be realistic. All right. So I just wanted to shine a light on that, right? Because if you are like, well, oh, I don't really know if I know what I want, that's okay because it's not coming from the mind, okay? I hear this sometimes, so I haven't figured out what I want yet. I haven't figured out what my exchange is yet. Listen, you don't need to figure out anything. There's no figuring out here because when we're figuring out, it's coming from the mind. We're not coming from the mind when we are creating. Okay, the mind only knows what it has learned and what it has experienced. That's what the mind knows. Oh, okay, so we're not, when we are asking ourselves, what do I actually want? It's not coming from the mind. Hey, Anael. So that's why most people believe that they aren't creative. It's because they're following someone else's rules that were made for them, right? By someone outside of them. And if that's you, that's okay. Because it's going to come clear to you, especially the more time you spend in this community. Okay. So we are going to you're going to remember that you're not just a human. You're so much more. You're an infinite creative being having a human experience. Okay, so trust in the process. And being part of here, being part of this conversation is part of the process. Okay. So, like I mentioned, this decision that you guys made yesterday, actually, like tell me in the chat, you guys, who here feels like they're like solid on their decision. Maybe you journaled on it, you sat with it, maybe you did the visualization again. Like, how are you feeling? Solid. So good. Okay, you know what you want. Okay, so this decision we made, I'm going to say this again and probably many times more. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. We're solid. Yeah, this is so exciting. My gosh. So it's an unrealistic, some might say. Is your desire, is your decision unrealistic, guys? Right? If somebody like your most logical family member, if you were to tell them what you're up to, would they be like, you're insane? Would they call you unrealistic? Oh, yeah. Okay. That means we're on the right track. That means we're going in the right direction. It's the 11:11. Okay. So it seems far-fetched. Yes, I keep that quiet for a reason. Absolutely. All right, so that's what we're talking about. My grandma wasn't sold. Why are we telling grandma? Oh my God, my grandma, when I came to Costa Rica, she was like, "When are you coming home?" I was like, "What's your problem? Like, do you get like what's the deal?" My mom basically. Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't tell my mom either. So it's not realistic. Okay. So that's good. We're on the right track. We're on the track of co-creation with the infinite. Ooh, this is beautiful. There's Callie. All right. We are, that's how we know we're in co-creation realm. Okay, when it doesn't make any sense. Hey, Callie. All right, so let's get into the conversation today, you guys, because we had to come out of the mind yesterday to realize what's actually possible, to remind ourselves of the freaking truth. And now we're going to come back to the mind, to reprogram the mind to match what we realized and experienced yesterday, to match the new awareness that we now have, our desired reality. Okay, so you guys, uh, how was the visualization yesterday? Did you feel like you connected some more dots? Like you have some more, like, more answers to who you need to be, right? That was the second question. I asked you guys, what do you want? And I said, who do you need to be? Do you feel like after yesterday's conversation and the visualization, you now have more information on, okay, who I need to be? Okay, mine went deeper, she said. Yes. Yes, Nicole. Very good. Okay. Amazing. So again, I'm going to say you guys should try to practice that again and again and again and expanded. Amazing. I added music onto it. So made it a little bit nicer for you guys. It's on the replay page. If you didn't see that, it's in your email if you registered for this event. It further solidified the trajectory of my path. It was very grounding to see my own reflection plus bulleting. Yeah, yes, amazing. Love that. So good. Amazing. Okay, so does anyone want to share part of their decision in the chat? Okay. What happens when we go public with our decision? You don't have to, okay? But just know that this is a safe space and we're all like cheering you on. So if anyone here is like, yeah, I want to be brave and I want to actually like say it so that I'm witnessed, so that we further solidify that this is me stepping outside of anything I've ever known, anything I've ever believed is possible before. This is me breaking the chains of lack and limitation. Generational fucking trauma ends with me. That is what we're doing here. Okay. That is what we're doing. If you feel called to, if you feel brave, you want to share it in the chat, do it. Okay. Because we're all here to rise together. So when you were playing with this decision, sitting with it, studying her, right? Getting to know her more, that version of you who is living that reality. I want to know what thoughts and beliefs came up as you were making this decision. Okay. I want to know from you guys again, like put it in the chat. If you can become present here, come present with us, show yourself how committed you are to the realization of this manifestation. Did you notice? There's a question for you. I want to hear from you. Did you notice some thoughts and beliefs show up in your mind as you were considering and sitting with this decision? Maybe you were, like I said, doing some journaling, you're thinking about it. Like, what was your mind trying to tell you? And those of you that are inside Manifest or inside the laws, this is also for you, right? Because there is no end to evolution, right? There's no end to ascension. No matter where we are in our journey, there's always that next level. And so even especially if you're inside the laws right now, like you know this material, you know it through and through. But what came up, there's always a next level. What I'm trying to say is there's always a next level to unpack, right? How do I know this? Because your desired reality is not manifested in this 3D physical world yet. Those millions of dollars or like absolute time, money, freedom, location freedom is not your reality yet. That's how I know there's still more to unpack because first within, then without. Right. So I know the visualization is my inner truth and reality as I felt emotionally connected. I know I meant to be collaborating with a person in another country. Amazing. That's so cool. I love that. Okay. So beautiful. Okay. So no one else is going to share. Alrighty then. I'm asking this. Oh, there we go. Maybe you guys are just typing like novels over here. Um, I'm going to use what you guys share in the chat in our tapping session today, just so you know. So whatever you put in the chat, the most recent question I asked you is what thoughts and beliefs came up? That's okay, NAL. Focus on driving. Thank you for being here. What thoughts and beliefs came up as you were making this decision? Right? In other words, what does your mind believe is in the way? What's in the way? Okay. Nicole said, my vision and mission, North Star, stayed basically the same, but I added the piece about working with the trauma aspect, and now I see myself going deeper with women. Yeah, I know. You're incredible. Amazing. Very aligned, less blockage. Okay, amazing. So is there any resistance? Is there any resistance? Or you're like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, show me how to get there. Like, I'm down. Let me know. Okay, is there any resistance? Okay, so usually what I hear, I'm gonna go off of like my own personal experience. Let's fucking go. I love that. I'm gonna go off my own personal experience, and I'm also gonna go off of what I've heard clients say. Okay, so usually, sometimes what happens is we're like, this is what I want, but how? Okay, who am I to have that? I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I know enough, right? Those sorts of things. So what else are we adding into that inner dialogue? And again, there is no judgment here. Like this is all like getting it out of your mind, being like, this is what I actually noticed is going to release it and free it from your body, right? And free it from your mind. So this information, whatever came up between, and maybe something didn't come up, and I love that so much for you, but something that I know to be true is that it could and it will. Actually, the more you go to take action, okay, the more you go, for example, Nicole, the more you go to create that program and sell that program to those women who have experienced that specific thing, the more those voices are going to show up. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Right? Does this make sense? So the more action we take in a new way, the more that inner dialogue likes to get really loud. I know Anael also has experience with this, right? Callie, we all do. So this can feel very real. All of this, like these doubts, these fears, these insecurities, this trauma, essentially what it is of what happened in the past. Oh, I tried it last time and I failed. Nobody liked it. I don't have anyone in my programs. I'm not, my posts are getting nowhere. Like all of this information is old, right? It's old. Yes, exactly. So it can feel really, really real, but I want to remind you that it's not, no matter what, it is not. Just like Eka said, she's like, I can feel it, that it is my real, I can feel it in my body. I know that it is my truth, right? That information is not your truth. That's just a lie that you believed because probably someone said it to you over and over and over again, or you experienced it over and over and over, and your mind just decided to believe it. And then it became part of your program and your perspective on the world and part of your identity. Interesting, right? So the truth is that what we can experience in our imagination is actually true. That is actually our truth. So lack, limitation, they're man-made experiences. Our life isn't meant to be a struggle, right? We know this. We've been taught this. We've been taught it's meant to be a struggle. It's not meant to be a struggle. Okay. And so for some of you here, maybe the past has been a struggle and that's okay, but it changes now, right? It's already changing, right? Are we on the same page? Yes. Okay. So when we make a decision and when we commit to that decision, we burn the bridges. Who's burnt the bridges? There's no plan B, right? There's no, oh, if this doesn't work out, I'll just do this. It's okay. If this doesn't work out, no worries because I didn't need that money anyway. Does it, is it, nobody has a plan B, right? Okay. So we know you have a plan B. There's no plan B, Nicole. So if we have a plan B, we plan to fail. So we must burn the bridges. We must be so convinced that this is the only option. And it's this or something even better. Okay, amazing. I misunderstood you. No, I burnt the bridges. Yes. And it can feel, how does it feel? It's fucking uncomfortable. It can feel very uncomfortable. Becca said, old world collapses to bring me in between. No inviting people, places, situations do not align with my higher timeline. No plan B. Yes. Amazing. Okay. Love that. So this is so good. So like attracts like. If we are in the energy of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what they're going to think. I don't know who am I? What energy, what vibration, what signal is that sending out? That. And that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get people who challenge you. You're going to get people who comment on your shit saying all sorts of ridiculous things, right? You're going to get that reality because first within, then without. So, like I said yesterday, and we'll say a million times going forward, is we always get what we vibrationally ask for every single time. This is the law of attraction. Okay, so vibrationally asking for something. If we're saying, I want this thing, I decided, I made this decision, I'm asking for this thing. Now, where is it? I need it because I need to pay my bills, or I need to get out of this toxic relationship, or I need to progress in my business. I need these things. Again, what vibration is it sending out? The same shit, right? Lack. So we don't want that. So we need to then reprogram from the inside out. So this is the beliefs and this is the identity. These are those patterns we've been talking about. So because we don't ask through our prayers and our words, we ask through our vibration. When we say, this is what I want, but we see it as something distant from us, we create the separation and we keep the thing from us. Have you ever noticed that you've done that? Who's here been like, I'm becoming the best of myself. I'm becoming a wildly wealthy woman. I'm becoming successful, you know? And even when people are like, oh, how's your business going? How's that thing you're doing going? You're like, oh yeah, it's coming along. You're like, oh, in here, it's a multi-million dollar fucking empire. But in the 3D world, if we're continuing to tell ourselves, oh, one day, I used to have, or actually one of my clients, she used to say, not much is happening on the outside, but on the inside it is. And I was like, dude, stop saying that. Stop it. Because everything we are affirming is becoming. Is that manifestation? It is manifesting. So if we see it from separate from us, if we see it as something that's out of reach, it's hard to get to, we're going to keep it from us. So now, yesterday, we experienced it in our imagination, right? Yeah, I love that. Amazing. So we experienced it in our imagination. We know that it all exists right now, and all we need to do is choose it. And this is us putting in the GPS coordinates, right? Once we have those GPS coordinates in our GPS, all we need to do is our part. God, universe, source will guide us through, remember the two ways we communicate with source? Our imagination and our intuition. We will be guided. The how will show up. Every step, every connection, every scent will show up through our imagination and our intuition. Okay, what will happen is we'll feel like a nudge. Have you ever felt this, you guys? Yeah, I'm assuming yes, but you're like, for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel like I should message Nicole right now. Hey, Nicole, what's up? And all of a sudden, one thing leads to the next, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. Interesting, right? And we couldn't have pieced that together or figured it out if we tried. Because I mentioned this at the end of yesterday a little bit as well, is like if we're trying to control the how and like reverse engineer the shit and like plan it out, a 5-year plan, all the things, we're essentially playing God. And that's not possible because there's an energy, whether you call it God or universe or infinite, quantum, whatever, that is much bigger and wiser than us, right? So if this human and with this human mind, and remember the mind only knows what it has learned or experienced. If we're trying to figure it out from what we've learned and experienced, what are we gonna create? What decisions are we gonna make? What moves are we gonna make? Not ones that are in alignment with the life we actually want to live, that's for sure, right? So it's not about the how. It's not about the finer details. It's literally, this is what I want, program it in, right? And we will be guided. All we need to do is move in faith. Okay, so now we're getting into the mind. Yes. So when we know what we want, why don't we move towards it? Why isn't it already our reality? So, kind of like what I already said, sometimes we have some information of like, well, I don't actually know what I'm meant to do. I don't actually know if I'm good enough yet. Like, why don't we take the action? Why don't we do the things that we know would change our lives? Why don't we do it? Does anyone want to? Yeah, there we go. Fear and doubt. That's why. I'm afraid. What is someone going to think of me? What if I get censored? What if I get canceled online? Right? Like fear and doubt. Usually, those are the two dominant ones that I see that try to hijack our whole quantum leap. Okay, so the money isn't here yet. That's why, right? That's also a common one. You want to go to Costa Rica and like live abroad. Why don't you then? The money's not here yet. Okay, well, you don't need the money yet. You haven't even made the decision. And once you make the decision, the money will show up because that's how you work with the law of infinite supply. You create the demand for more. Interesting, right? So another one is, what if I fail? I don't know enough. Last time it did not work. You're moving from old information. So see how important it was for us to talk yesterday about coming out of the mind and into the infinite, because we can't manifest what we want from the human mind, but we can work with our mind. We still do need our mind to manifest, but it's important to know how to work with the mind because we have some old beliefs that are not in alignment with what we want. And like I said, we're always going to discover more and more and more beliefs that are not in alignment. And that's beautiful because once we discover it, once we become aware of it, we take our power back. And that's it. Beliefs are patterns, right? Beliefs are patterns. And when we watch them, when we become aware of them, they show us our shadows. Beliefs show us our shadows. Okay, every time. So without awareness, we don't know that they're there. We don't know what to heal. And I actually spoke on this um, on TikTok, but I was also interviewed on this topic of like how doing this inner work and making a decision can actually heal our body, like our physical body and our mind through making a decision. Because if we live in a state of overwhelm, uncertainty, kind of like limbo, how do we feel in our body? How does our mind feel? Guys, I have been the most depressed in my life when I didn't know what I wanted. And I'm sure maybe some of you here too have. Let me know in the chat. Like, this is a big deal. Decision making is a skill, it's an art. When we know how to actually make a decision, I'm not talking about like sushi or fucking fried rice. Like, this is a decision that like makes your hairs stand on end, okay? That your grandma questions your sanity on. It's this. This is my husband right now. I know. But it's this type of decision, okay? So when we make these decisions, all of a sudden, these shadows show up, these doubts, these fears. We didn't even know they were there prior to making the decision. Change is scary. Why is it scary? That's a belief. Is it a belief that serves you, Krista? So when we notice the shadows, yes, not anymore, yes. When we notice them, we take their power back. But without making a decision, most of the time we wouldn't even know they're there. That's the biggest thing. So making the decision is what actually starts the snowball, the unfolding, the bridge of incidents. And that's really, really beautiful. So, how do we change a belief? Some of you told me, or some of you heard me yesterday say that repetition, right? Repetition is a one way to change our patterns, or drastic emotional impact, right? So Some of you as well have heard me say these things before, right? Some of you, like I mentioned, are in other programs and stuff like that. Like you've heard me say these concepts before, but I have seen it again and again. I've said, this similar things or like a similar phrase or whatever it is, or I'm teaching a certain concept. And someone who's like, maybe some of you here and maybe most of you here are like, yeah, like I get this, I get this. You understand it intellectually, but sometimes what happens is it all of a sudden just clicks. I think that NIL can resonate with this and potentially Callie and Nicole, right? You guys have had that moment where you're like, I thought I got it before, but like, I really get it now. Like, I fucking get it. So this is when it comes out of the mind as a concept and into the body, because otherwise it's really easy for us to know a thing. And like, I know you all know so much, right? We're all intelligent beyond measure, right? That's really easy to know a thing. It's really easy to talk about a thing. It's really easy to talk about launching that business and leading in a certain way, speaking on stages, writing the books. But it's quite another thing to actually do it. We feel that, right? We get that, right? So that's embodiment. That's what happens when it comes out of the mind into the body. It's not just a concept anymore. It's who you actually are. Okay, so this is really, really powerful when this happens. So how does this happen? It's a choice. It's a choice. It's literally a choice. And then something that helps it is repetition, practice. We talk about this a lot. Even inside my expand tapping membership, it's like we talk. It's a business and tapping membership, and so we talk about putting in the reps, right? But not just putting in the reps to just like check the boxes, right? It's not just to check the boxes and say, okay, I did the work. Look, I'm doing my part. No, it's to actually do it in a new way because it's not what we do. It's who we believe we are when we're doing it. Nicole, I'm declaring it on the internet. Fuck yeah, you did it. You're doing it. You're making the moves that most people are just talking about. That's the reality is that most people are just going to talk about it. Not many people are actually doing it. Okay. But I trust that you're here for a reason. We're here for a reason. And we're doing things that most people never will. They'll just talk about it. All right. So yesterday in the group chat, I shared something about triggers, right? Someone being triggered by people. And it's so funny because when we fully understand like what triggers are, I'm pretty sure every single one of my clients has said to me at one point, you triggered me, right? You triggered me. And then they realized what the trigger was, which was an opportunity to actually look inside and see the shadows that it brought up and heal their own things. And then they were like, and that's why I decided to work with you because I knew that you brought up something in me that no one else did. And I needed to discover it before I could actually hear what you're saying. And that's really beautiful. And it's really funny, right? So know that if at any point you're feeling triggered by anything I'm saying or whatever, yeah, know that it is a reflection. We actually talked about this yesterday inside the laws as well. That first within, then without, the law of correspondence, right? That we are creating. Reality is a mirror. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So let's talk about changing a belief a little bit more because now that we have this awareness, right? We all have this awareness on, I know what I want, but I've got these beliefs, these ideas that are telling me otherwise, they're trying to convince me it's safer to stay here. Who am I anyway? What if it's selfish to take up more space? What if I da 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 da? Okay, these ideas that are coming up. So to change a belief, all we need to do is upgrade our identity and become the version of us who doesn't have that belief. Okay. It sounds wild. Does that sound wild to you guys? Maybe it sounds a little bit complicated, but I'm going to give you guys an example. So if we believe that I'm going to use health as an example. Okay. If we believe that we are unhealthy and we really want to get healthy, what do people tend to do in that situation? They're like, damn it. They see themselves in a bathing suit and they're like, oh, so unhealthy. Right? What are the thoughts? What do people tend to do? I should go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. I need to stop eating this. I need to do these things. I'm like, I'm so bad. I shouldn't do this, and this, right? I'm being a little bit like drastic to here, but like this is a drastic example that I want to show you. Okay. So if we have the beliefs that are in alignment with, I am an unhealthy person, what are we going to do? What patterns are we going to follow? Probably something along the lines of forcing themselves to do something they don't want to do, getting mad at themselves when they don't do it, telling themselves the story about I need to go to the gym every single day or 5 times a week at this obscene hour, right? And I need to work out, I need to sweat, and I need to, it's almost like punish myself, right? I need to eat differently. I need to deprive myself of doing things that I would normally do. That's what, even like I know coaches that will tell you, like nutrition and fitness coaches that will tell you to do those things. It like makes me like sad inside, like knowing that people think that that's the way forward. That's why they lose weight and then it comes back. That's why they still feel like a shell of themselves even after the weight's gone. Okay, so we see this everywhere and people call it, I lack self-control. I don't have the self-control or I don't have the discipline to be healthy. It's not true. It's bullshit. Okay. They do. People do. We all do because our true nature is peace. It is bliss. It is love. It is expansion. It is abundance. That's our truth for every single one of us. No matter what you want, no matter where you've been or what you've been through or where you want to go in life. All you want is peace and bliss, fucking freedom and space, really, right? Abundance. And so this these beliefs of I'm not good enough, like this shape of my body is not good enough, or it's appalling, or whatever it is. It's all just information that we've collected along the way. And so this person, this example that I'm giving you, all they need to do that they all they need to do is decide, I actually am. What if I am healthy now? And then move accordingly. Okay, it's the same formula. That's why I always say, like, no matter where you are and no matter where you want to go, I can help you get there. Because it's the same formula, this quantum leaping formula, spirit, mind, body, no matter what you want. So, what habits does a healthy person have? This is where we get into the juice, right? This is what we talked about yesterday when we're starting to study that version of us. What habits, what patterns does she follow? The healthiest version of someone is going to be different than someone else's, of course, right? But I'm just being general here. So maybe she wakes up with the sun gently before the house so she can have a few moments, maybe with a cup of tea out in the sun. Maybe she wakes up and puts on her running shoes and goes for a run or goes for a gentle walk, right? I'm healthy now. Fuck yes, right? Maybe she does a workout. I do a workout every morning. As soon as I wake up, I have a shower, go outside and I do my workout before the kids get up so that it's done. It's out of the way and I feel fucking alive. I feel strong in my body. So what does she do? She moves intentionally. She fuels intentionally. She shops intentionally. She's not loading her cart with fucking junk food. She's not even going down the junk food aisle. She goes nowhere near that because that's just not who she is. She's tuned in with her body. She loves her body so much because she knows it's her temple. Without her body, she wouldn't be here having this human experience. She honors her body, right? So they don't do the things that an unhealthy person does. They don't speak to themselves the same way, right? However, sometimes what can happen is old habits and old patterns will show up again. And this is really interesting, right? This is what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about this more again tomorrow. There's going to be times when the old patterns show up. Maybe we're feeling hormonal. Maybe we're having a bad moment. Maybe someone said something that actually hurt, and we allow it to take our power for a moment, and that's okay. And then maybe what happens is we sleep in one day. Maybe we don't move our body one day. We eat the shitty food again one day. But then what happens is we remember the truth. Because once we have the awareness of how good we can feel, of how strong we can feel, of how like alive we can feel, we don't want to go back to how it was. Right. So then we show ourselves, and it's almost like we're building this like list of evidence. So that next time our mind is like, oh, you don't need to get up. Like, it's all good. No, not a big deal. You're like, okay, I'm going to pull out my list of evidence and show you that this is, and I'm saying this, like, how does this relate to quantum leaping? How does this relate to like collapsing timelines and going to where we want to go? Because that version of you is actually healthy, regardless of where you are right now. I'm not saying you're not unhealthy, but I know that every person wants, what did I say? Peace, bliss, love, right? Freedom. They also want health. They want to feel good in their body. No one likes to feel sore or like stiff or old. We all want health too. So now we see it's not what we do. We don't need to. We do not need to make ourselves do things we don't want to do. All we need to do is become the version of us who already does it. You can do this with anything. Fuck yes, you can. Yeah. All we need to do is become the version of us who does not do those things. Okay. So, who do you need to be to become that reality, to become that version of you right now? What do you need to do? Anyone want to share it in the chat? Yeah, when you start in one area, it's easier in others. Yes. When you understand this, right? This spirit, mind, body, it has to come from outside in, because we are originating ideas that do not exist in this 3D reality right now. They exist in another timeline. And that's beautiful because it still exists, and it still exists right now. It's just not manifested in this 3D reality. So we're originating ideas and making decisions that don't make logical sense. So of course, there's no fucking logical way we can achieve them. There isn't. We're not gonna, and I don't want you guys to ever think that you need to figure it out or you need to put one foot in front of the other. If someone tries to tell you you need to like work harder and like know the logistics, you don't listen to them. Okay, it's not true. All you need to do is know where you're going and then vibrationally match that through upgrading your identity, through upgrading who you are. And if you can vibrationally match that new reality, 51% of the time, your reality will start to shift. Okay, we're having a human experience. Perfection is an illusion. Even, what do I want to say? What's that word? What's that word? That's like to do the same thing again and again and again. It's a very basic word, but I totally just lost it. Ah, Costa Rica. Yes. Consistency. Consistency. I don't even know if consistency is a real thing, right? I get it. Like show up and go through the motions, but no, actually, I think consistency is a lie. Because maybe what you guys see from the outside is like, wow, Jocelyn's leading all these programs and she's got her this platform and that, and she's posting all the time, and holy shit, she's so consistent. Guys, I just know how to work smarter, not harder. I'm not working all the time. I work like a few hours a day, right? Not even every day. But because I'm doing a live event right now and I have the doors are opening again to a really exciting experience, I'm working a little bit more. But you see how it's not this like plano, consistent, I don't even know if that's an English word, plano, but like flat thing. It's like we work in seasons, and the season can be throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, right? Cyclical energy. Yes, absolutely. There are moments where I'm like on fucking fire and we'll record like 15 TikToks in an hour, just like on fire. And usually that's right before I'm ovulating, right? There's also moments where I'm like, and I'm not going to force myself to go there. Okay. Perfection is an illusion and it's a lie, and it's causing us more problems than anything else. All right. I love it. Okay. Nicole, I just had a full vision of leading a group of moms and their kids to Costa Rica to visit me and consider for relocation. Do it. Yeah, girl. Do it, do it. There's so much potential, infinite opportunities are available to us at any time. And that's really beautiful. Here's the thing is being in a group like this, we're all influencing and impacting each other's decisions. And so I want you to think of that for a second. Are you being positively impacted by being in this space? I feel like you're going to say yes, but and then going out back into Bad Bunny, going out into your world, back into the workplace, back into family life, back into relationships or whatever, right? Are you being positively impacted towards the life you know you're here to live? Remember yesterday I was like, one of the biggest shifts I made in my life was to tell myself and decide that I'm no longer listening or taking advice from anyone who isn't where I want to be, who hasn't done what I want to do. And so that's just food for thought. Okay, let's do some tapping, you guys, before we close out today. Are we ready? This is exciting because now I'm going to teach you a method that I actually created after quantum leaping my life and questioning, like I said yesterday, it took me a while to question actually what actually did I do to cause that. One of the things that I did was tapping. I tapped every single day. What does tapping do? It speaks the language of the subconscious mind. It is directly speaking to those beliefs, is giving a voice to the voices inside your head. Okay, we are tapping on the physical body, on energy meridians in the body. We are moving energy through our body and out of our body. Okay, because we are information. Information is what we are. Information is really comes down to what everything is information. And so if we are holding on to old information, if we are allowing it to fester in the body, right, we sometimes create from that old information. And that's tends to be what is happening for a lot of women when we say, I want this, and then we go to take action. And then there's ideas and beliefs and thoughts that show up that hijack our entire quantum leap. That's because the old information is still in the body. So what we're doing here with tapping is we are shining a light on it. And we're letting ourselves feel it. We're not hiding from it. We're taking back our power because remember that awareness is the first step in changing anything. If we're not aware of it, how can we change it? So what we're doing when we are, like I said, shining a light on it is we are actually taking back our power. It no longer owns us. And then we're forgiving ourselves. We're forgiving anyone else who was involved. And we are allowing ourselves to choose a new idea. Okay. So I'm not going to go fully into what my tapping method is, but just know that there are 3 parts. And today we're going to experience a little bit of each part in this one tapping activation. So the first part is venting and processing. We must become aware first. We must become aware and then vent and process that information. Free it from our body. The second part is healing and soothing, allowing ourselves to feel it, allowing ourselves to forgive, allowing ourselves and reminding ourselves that we are safe. And then the third part is activating our truth, remembering our truth. This is actually what is true, right? And then expanding our capacity, our body's capacity, our nervous system's capacity to perceive, receive, and hold more, and to hold that new reality. Because remember what happens when we go outside the comfort zone, when we go to take action in a new way, or we go to do things in a way we've never done before. Or if we, let's say, do the thing and all of a sudden we have an influx of clients, an influx of abundance, or whatever it is we've been calling in actually shows up. What can happen then? This is another one, right? Is we actually self-sabotage and tell ourselves a story about how we're not good enough. Who are we anyway? Right? Have you ever done that? Or the thing actually shows up and then you talk yourself out of it and fucking self-sabotage yourself and lose it all? Or at least some of it, and then you go back to what actually feels normal. This is because your nervous system is like a thermostat. And it's up to us. This is what we're doing here through awareness, through studying this material together, and through tapping, through visualizing. We are expanding like that thermostat a little bit further up, further up, further up, turning up the heat. Okay. Because otherwise, that's like our governor on our fucking life. We don't want to be governed anymore. But we're always governed to some degree. So that's why awareness doesn't end. Okay. Are we ready? Let me know in the chat if you're ready. Even if you're not in the place to tap, for example, Anael's driving, you can still listen and you can still say the words out loud. Okay, that is still very, very powerful. All right, we're ready. We are ready. I'm going to get my little microphone so it's a little bit more clear for you guys today. If you've never tapped with me before, which I think you all have, but all you need to do is do what I do and say what I say. So tap where I tap and repeat after me. If something doesn't fully land, that's okay. You can allow yourself to feel whatever your body feels in that moment. And and then you can listen to what comes up. Because sometimes I'm going to say things. Oh, Echo's the first time, sweet. Sometimes I'm going to say things that trigger you, like I said before, right? And that's what is that? What is that? What is that when we are triggered? It is an opportunity to actually take a look at the shadows. And that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to tap with one hand. Even though you said I sound good, I still, on the replay, I just hear a little muffling. When you have headphones on and you're doing like the replay, I put these inside the tapping membership as well. So I like it to be a little bit more clear. But I'm going to tap with one hand. You guys tap with two hands. So there's like points where you're going to tap with one hand, and two hands. Okay. So there's a couple points I'm going to point out so that because you can't really see them on the screen. So one is the liver meridian, which is right underneath the bra line, right there. And you can tap with two hands. And then the other one is underneath the arms. So again, a little bit higher than the bra line, but that's the point is under there. Okay, you can't really see them on the camera. All right, are we ready? Find a comfortable seat if you can. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's actually just shake it out for a second. Shake it out. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Okay. Another inhale. And exhale. Just that breath alone is so good, so grounding. Take another breath in. And out. Okay, we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hands. There is a part of me that feels so fucking excited about where I'm going and what I'm creating. But there's also a part of me who is holding on to what feels comfortable and safe. And that's okay. I love that part of me so much. I love all the parts of me, actually. And so, even though my mind is trying to tell me all the reasons why it's better to just stay here, it's not that bad here. I have everything I need, really. It could be selfish to want more. What would other people think of me? That's okay. I know these thoughts are not my own. And even though they feel real, I know that they're not. And I'm ready to stop giving my power away to them now. Because I know the truth. Let's go to the top of the head. I forgive myself for believing that I'm not there yet, or that I'm not good enough yet. or that I don't know what I'm doing, or fill in the blank. What do you forgive yourself for? Say it again. I forgive myself for. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. And I'm also ready to forgive anyone else who could have played a role in me believing these ideas. And I'm so grateful for everything I've experienced and everyone who made me who I am today. But I'm ready for more. I declare that I am stepping into a new timeline. I no longer believe these ideas. And in their place, I now believe that I'm limitless. And I'm not alone. I always get what I ask for. And the universe has got my back. And I'm ready to quantum leap into this new reality now. And so I'm going to go into my day now, remembering that the how is not up to me. And it will be revealed to me in the perfect timing, step by step. And I'm going to see proof of this upgrade all around me today. I'll see the signs, see the coincidences, the synchronicities that remind me that it's already done. The timelines are shifting. The realities are merging. And anything that isn't a vibrational match to this new reality will gently leave. And everything that is will show up for me in the perfect timing. And I can hold this. I'm safe. It is safe for me to make these new moves and to let myself receive in this way. I feel so proud. I feel so grateful. So taken care of. And so it is. It's done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Just feeling the energy, the new prana, life force energy circulating throughout your body. Notice how you feel. Take another inhale. And exhale. All right. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let me know how you feel. You guys heard my watermelon guy driving by, maybe. Yeah, I feel a bit floaty, like a fizzy drink. That's awesome. That's the energy circulating through your body, like buzzing, right? So make sure you drink a lot of water. Yeah, fizzy drink, I got it. A lot of water, drink a lot of water because we are detoxing all of this information. And specifically this one where we did a lot of on the hand, a lot of like venting, shining a light on things. Like this is us moving it through our body. Now it's all ooh. So things are going to shift. Things are already shifting. You're going to go out into your day today and you're not going to see it the same as you did yesterday. Things are already shifting and changing for every single one of us. Feel positive. Yes. So here's the secret is we don't want to just keep pushing away or like pretending those beliefs and those ideas and those fears and those doubts don't exist. Yeah. It also detoxes. Yeah, because we get it out. Emotional freedom technique. Yes. Yep. We don't want to just avoid it. This is how, people are like, feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm like, no, you got to fucking face the fear, realize why do I feel this fear, free yourself from the fear, and then expand your nervous system's capacity, reprogram your subconscious mind to actually match what you want. We now know our truth is not that old information. It's not fear and doubt and lack and limitation. It's everything that we do want. And we've just picked up a few ideas along the way. That's all. We don't need to make a story up about it, right? All we get to do is actually realize that we now know how to free it from our bodies. And so every time I get this question sometimes, like um, every time I feel a doubt or some fear, am I like tapping on it? Sometimes yes. But most of the time, what happens, the more you practice this, you're going to be able to just override it like that. And that's not me shoving it into the closet. I've already healed. I literally see it and I'm like, oh, you again? Interesting. I don't believe that. I believe this. And over time, again, what's going to happen is that fear, that doubt, that old belief doesn't show up as like at all. Okay. So, for example, when it comes to money and finances, the old you, the younger you, I should say, it might have believed that money was limited, right? Maybe you worked a job or maybe your business was kind of just like felt capped at a certain level. And maybe when you were doing your shopping, you were like, I can't buy that, right? I can't buy that because it's out of the budget or something like that. And then you started to question that. Why is it out of the budget? And then you started to realize, holy shit, I'm actually keeping the abundance from me because I'm realizing I'm believing in lack. And I'm creating more lack because it's like this whole like, holy shit moment. All the puzzle pieces click in together. I'm creating more lack through telling myself that I am lacked, that I am living in lack, and that there is lack. I'm believing in lack. But now I actually am going to go shopping in a different way. And I'm not saying go and like circulate or spend all your money, but you're going to actually see it differently. Even if you actually like financially don't feel comfortable buying the thing right now, you're no longer going to tell yourself, I can't buy that because it's not in the budget. You're going to actually say, I'm choosing not to buy that right now, but I know that I will. Right. And then financially, when you are, and that's a whole other story of creating the demand for more. When you are, what do I want to say? When you're more comfortable with circulating money in a different way because you see yourself differently and you actually have some proof around you that your business is in fact growing or whatever it is, you're going to circulate that money and you're going to do it in a way that's going to feel really fucking good. Okay, so there's a book called The Having that's really good if you want to look into that a little bit more. It's called The Having. She talks about red light, green light, and circulating in that way. So anyway, you guys, I recognize it now. I feel, and then I then can that doubt. I don't fully, I'm not picking up what you're putting down there, but that's all right. Okay. You guys are all amazing. I want to again invite you to upgrade to VIP if you want to come and join us tomorrow. We are, we've covered the spirit, we've covered the mind, and now tomorrow we're bringing it into the body. We're talking about embodiment. We're going to do another tapping, but it's going to be an activation this time to activate the truth and activate the version of us who we're actually here to be. And that's going to be a tapping activation that you can practice and you will practice every morning going forward to set the intention for your day, set your vibrational frequency for the day for attraction of what you desire. So tomorrow, this is where it all comes together. A bunch of you already upgraded, but if you didn't upgrade, you can still upgrade for 22 bucks. And the link is on the replay page. It'll also be in your email. It's also in the group chat. If you have any questions, reach out to me. So with the upgrade, oh, I do want to say that, okay, so with the upgrade, you get access to tomorrow's class, which will be about an hour, hour and a half. And then you also get access to our group chat, and we're doing a giveaway in the group chat for participation. It's a private call with me. I'm gonna just give you that information. And what else do you get? You also get first access into a program that is opening tomorrow. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little snippet about the program. It is my 11-week manifestation program that some of you went through in cohort 1, where we take these concepts, spirit, mind, and body, way deeper over 11 weeks. Okay. So I mentioned yesterday that I created Manifest for me because I did. It was for the younger me who used to tell herself a story about why she wasn't there yet. Okay, so it teaches you what we went over this in these 3 days over 11 weeks, like I just said, in so much more detail. It is the recipe, the formula to quantum leaping. I call it like become a master manifester. So there's a lot of depth to it. So this is cohort 2. We start on the first week of, I think it's the first week of April, right? And so like in 1 week's time, um, every woman who took part in cohort 1 left a changed woman. If you went through it, let me know in the chat. Let people know in the chat why they should consider looking at it, or joining us. They manifested money. They manifested freedom. They manifested like getting out of toxic situations. They manifested new ideas, new businesses, new offers, like straight up, this is an identity overhaul. Okay. So people call it manifestation, like quantum leaping. What it really comes down to is like your ability to upgrade your identity from the inside out and move in a new way without self-sabotaging yourself. So something really important happened inside that program. These women remembered their truth. They came back to themselves and they took new action in a new way, surrounded by women just like them with really, really big dreams. Because I tend to attract women with really fucking big dreams. And the how keeps us small. That's the reality. We subscribe to what we've been told. Got to be logical, got to be linear. It doesn't make sense. No. And we end up just going through the motions. You ever felt this before? Going through the motions, telling yourself, hoping, wishing, dreaming, right? Telling yourself one day things are going to change. Manifest is for the women who are done waiting, right? So I even priced Manifest for that version of me. It's $333 for 11 weeks. Or if you need a payment plan, it's $111 for 3 months if you need that split payment. Okay, we have 2 live calls a week, 1 lesson, which is about 60 minutes. We have 1 embodiment call, which is 60 minutes as well, with tapping. The embodiment and the tapping helps you to reprogram the subconscious mind. It helps you, like we have a lesson, and then on that Friday, we have an embodiment call where we talk about what came up that week. What is the in between? What is the loud noises, the voices? What are the lies telling us or trying to convince us of? What does our body feel like? And we literally tap live then. I create the tapping live then with your guys' words, the people who are going through the program, to help you to reprogram it. Manifest alumni here. It's amazing, massive upgrades for me personally. Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Nicole. So if you feel like you want to join Manifest, I want to credit you what you pay to get into VIP. Okay, so that $22, you can use that again, like against, what do we call that? Against? You can use that towards. So you can use that towards your 333 or your first month's payment. So upgrade to VIP if you want to seriously move this into the body. It's going to be revolutionary. I'm so, so excited. So you guys are all amazing, regardless of if you join us in VIP or not. I believe in you with everything. I know that you can do this on your own. You're already doing it. You've committed to the quantum leap. Don't stop now. We are cheering you on, and I hope to see you inside VIP. Go have a beautiful day, you guys. And thank you again so much for being here with me. I love every single one of you. You're doing amazing. I believe in your dreams. It's already done. It's already done. Let's go. Bye, you guys. See you in VIP. See you inside the group chat. All the things.